Okay, so now in the last segment, I said essentially that testosterone doesn't seem to be needed to any sort of significant extent when it comes to the quality of the hair from the hair follicle on the scalp, right? That is, if we're blocking the androgen receptor, in the long term, it doesn't seem like testosterone would cause the hair follicle to suddenly shed and produce worse hair. I pretty much came to that conclusion by just going back and looking at the Hamilton study on castration and male pattern baldness, and we see that for men who were castrated before puberty, they never lost their hair, and in men that were castrated after puberty and who had signs of male pattern baldness, those regions, the balding areas, never expanded, and in some cases, it got better over time. This is because as soon as you remove the gonads, the testicles, you're not going to have much testosterone to begin with. And because you're not going to have much testosterone to begin with, regardless if you have the 5-alpha reductase enzymatic activity at a high rate throughout your tissues, there just isn't enough androgen to convert into various other androgen leading to testosterone, which would eventually lead to DHT, which will progress androgenetic alopecia. And castration reduces testosterone by a large degree, so this will make a significant impact. Now, this is going to be a bit of a side note, but I've heard people who say, well, anything that you do to marginally increase your testosterone will destroy your hair or can accelerate the rate in which you lose your hair. Now, I think there needs to be some sort of nuance here. If you're doing something that can supraphysiological, that word is so hard to say, but increase your testosterone levels to the point where it's out of the reference range, where you're twice the high-end normal range, like Derek from More Plates, More Dates in that one video where he was 2,000 nanograms per deciliter, yes, that can have a significant impact on your hair loss to the point where it becomes detrimental. But doing things like regularly working out, getting a good night's sleep, eating healthy that can increase your testosterone levels shouldn't cause it to the point where you're at a crazy high range to the point where you're going to lose your hair. No, that's not going to be the case. But in the case of decreasing testosterone for the sake of preserving your hair, if you chemically castrate yourself, if you physically castrate yourself, yes, you are going to potentially stop your hair loss, pretty much indefinitely stop your hair loss. But that is an extreme measure, just as taking steroids is an extreme measure for your hair, right? On one end, you get the extreme benefit by cutting your balls off. Don't do that. And on the other end, you get the negative of taking gear, steroids, anabolic steroids, and that fucks up your hair. And also eventually messing up your balls too. So I just wanted to point that out there.